Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the IC Nerd stream, where we are building a live service stream. Oh, I had it written down as well. It's a live streaming service, streamed live, built live, whatever. So, where were we last time? We had just created, I believe, a bunch of models. And in this one, we're going to try and eventually get some streaming going. So first things first, we need a user so that we can log in and actually do that. Let's get me up some terminal, eh? Come on, you plug. There we go. So what have we got currently? Let's see. A lot of errors because I haven't started the old SQL server. That's what you get when you reboot your computer before a stream, eh? Bloody thing doesn't start on its own. Okie dokie, so that's an SQL server side. And to be honest, there's no point serving. I'm not quite sure I did that. Why I did that, to be honest. Okie doke. So, users. We need users. Shouldn't break anything to do this. Might have archetype. That should give us some login info. Resources. There we go. Marvellous. Coming up with passwords on the fly, eh? Okie dokie, what we got here? We haven't got deleted that on our users. Good start. I'm opening new terminals, me. Oh, and I've already forgot all the commands despite making something earlier today. Add shaft delete to users. Table equals users. But it is getting warm in here. I'm going to have to turn this fan on. I hope it doesn't pick it up. I'll keep an eye out for that. Let me know if it does. I don't know. Just headbutt the mic, don't mind me. Database migration, is that one. Soft deletes. Again, would help if I could type. Did that fix that? It did fix that. Yay! Marvellous. Right, so I'm logged in. I need a way to create a channel now. So what we're going to do is make a really simple, horrible, boring, however you want to describe it, resource. Let's have a look what we got in here. Layouts.app. Yeah, let's borrow this for now. So, actually, let's split this off even further. Put it in channels. And new file. So, what do we want to extend? Oops. type much. What do we have in that one? Extends latest data, and it's just a content section. Just call it create for now. And then back up into the controllers, channel controller. So it'd be this one that shows that creation screen. So we want to return a view, which is thud.channels.create. That should be right, shouldn't it? Thud channels create, awesome. And then I need a root to actually get that. I can never remember the syntax, so have a root resource. We're actually on 5.5, so let's quickly change that there, just in case. You never know, something might have changed. Probably hasn't. Don't want to find out if it has. Root resource channels. And it will be the channel controller. So we now should have PHP artisan root list. Yeah, there we go. That's created a bunch of channel resources. My mind just went blank there. Made a bunch of channel URIs for us that we can now use. So it'd be this one that we end up going to. I don't know why I just did Control C there. That's not how I do it. So if I put that in, yes, that's our new view, but of course we haven't put anything in there yet. Let's close that off. Let's just make sure it's all working well. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. So what sort of layout did we have in that? Resources. Let's go with login. For now, we'll just pinch the lot. Nice and bootstrappy. Scrap off the section. Scrap off the bit that we've already got. Could have just copied and pasted, to be honest. So we don't need login, so we're probably about down here where we can get rid of the panel stuff, but we are actually going to need a form as well. So we might as well just steal the entire lot. Why not? So what do we not need? I don't need a password form or a remember me or a forgot pass. Change that to create. Pass back any errors under the name channel in a moment if we get any. Don't mind me, my mouse has jumped onto the wrong machine. There we go. A little bit of software called Synergy. It's really useful if you've got multiple computers. It lets your mouse and keyboard jump off onto another machine, like an entirely different machine. Oops, that's not the right bit. Channel name would be the bit that we're editing there. So what we got? We've got a section content. It's got a container row, standard bootstrap stuff. We've got a panel, which is standard Laravel built-in sort of stuff. We don't want to post it to login. We want to post it to, let's have a look, channels.store. So post to straight up channels. That's handy. There we go. So that looks like it should be all good, other than the email bit. Which is attack text. Phone control, yeah. Name, no. Channel. And the value old here just means if there's an error, it keeps it filled in, so you don't have to keep refilling it if you keep making mistakes of any kind. This is actually the channel name, isn't it? So we'll go with channel name for everything, because we're going to have to add extra bits like the description and whatnot. So if I do that, that's what I love about this text editor, by the way. You can have multiple cursors, so that'll be the same as well. Cool. That might be usable. Let's have a look. Nope, it's not. What have I got here? Root name is not defined. What have we done wrong? Have I used a named root instead of just, yeah, that'll do it. We will name our roots and stuff later. Don't mind me just turning into Marge Simpson there. Okay, so we've got a channel name, and that'll post to that store route. Yeah, store. I believe request all should show us what we're sending. Yeah. Cool. So that's how we pass a bit of data along. We will need a bit more. Just want to refresh my memory on what we had in the old channel. So we've got a name, a slug, which can be auto-filled, the description, and the hash ID. So we just need a description really, don't we? If I just add an extra bit in here mate. No, I don't want to put it in a column on its own. How hard was that? Okay, so if I put that on on a new line within here, that should be fine. Just do it as its own group. Oh, just noticed there's an error there. Needs changing. There we go. Channel description. Awesome. So descriptions all around. Cool. So that should be our channel description. We want this to be a text area. And we don't need those. Close that off. That should be fine. Let's have a look. Looks like it, doesn't it? So if we go back to the channel controller, if the request has channel name, we also want to have a channel slug. just above that we'll go channel equals, let's not do a channel, yeah we've already got channel. So we want to find one. I believe the slugs were unique, weren't they? So actually we will need that above this one. There we went. STR slug. Slur. No. Request. Input. Channel name. Excuse me. So we want to find it, or we want to create a new one. Now if we do find it, then we want to bail out effectively. Cool, so if we find a channel, I don't know if this will work yet, but just a bit of pseudocode for now. If we find one, we want to, well, die and dump and show what it is, because we shouldn't have that yet. Later we want to throw an error, that a new exception channel already exists, something like that. Otherwise it's going to create a new one, which we can then populate. With the request info that we're about to write up here. If I can type. So request input, channel name, and Control X, Control V twice. Description, channel description. Now we don't really want to do anything with hashes just yet, because we haven't got an ID at this point. Let's give that a go. So channel name, Icy Nerd, Nerd Things. Got an error. What have we got? Oh, don't mind me, I'm a bloody idiot. Except I can't remember what the actual one is. Right, yeah. So this is actually the request bit. Easy mistake. Especially if you're lacking in sleep or whatever. I'm not lacking in sleep, I'm just really bad. So yeah, scrap all that off. And what we actually want is it here. Under the channel name. Okay, so now it should, well, I said that last time. It might work. So what we got here, attributes. Okay, there we go, that looks a bit better, doesn't it? So we've got the name, it's auto-generated a slug for us, it's got a description, and somehow it's got a hash. How has it got a hash? Has it got a hash because it already exists? I think it is, yes. I think we are actually hitting this DD here instead of the one down there, which is not very useful. I've just done the exact same thing either way. Actually, let's just, I will do a proper exception later. channel already exists. Can you hear all the technical debt start jumping in? All that technical debt where, you know, channel or we'll do that later. It's a classic sign of technical debt, something you're going to have to pay off later. Okay, so what we're doing now is trying to remember what it was. That is not right at all. Channels create. So channels create is an endpoint that we've made using a resource which was in here. So this resource sets up a bunch of URLs. So we've got channels and such. So that's these. So each one of these, like post, get, they're going to match up with that. For example, this, when I hit enter, that's a get request. Then if you go to here, that's this one. So what it's doing now is it's a get request to channel/create. It actually does have a name. Just quickly pop that in here. Oh, I've changed a lot since then. Let's not just do that. What's it just name? Maybe. I don't need that yet. This controls it. It was root. Root is what we need. So now it's a named root. So what we're doing is we're getting this one, channels create, which is named channels.create. It's going to call a controller called channel controller, which we made last episode. Within that, it's going to call the function create. Middleware is web. Don't worry about that. That's something that we'll get to in a bit, or later, or when it comes up. Which actually checks this CSRF field, which stops people posting from other websites. We can get into more detail on that if needed, but for now, hitting that get request that we were talking about displays this content. So this content is actually just a segment of a website, or a web page rather. It actually extends the layouts.app, which we're pinching at the moment just because it already exists, which is the general framework of the page. Yeah, so essentially everything outside of this is already created for us. It's the built-in sort of style. It's very basic, but it'll do the job for us right now. So what we've done so far is we've set up a form which lets us type in a channel name, type in a description, and then create. And then what that will do, if we go to the store method that I mentioned just now, it will take a request, which is us posting data. Oh no, sorry, I skipped ahead. So when we submit this, it will go to this one, which is a post request, as in I'm posting data to the website. URI is channels, so website name / channels. It's named channels.store, which is actually what I wanted earlier. I do apologise, I keep getting distracted, don't I? It's channels.store I want to send that to. So yeah, we're posting data to channels.store, which will call the channel controller again, the method, the function rather, store, which is this one. So we're going to have a request because obviously we're posting data to this, and then what we do there is we create a variable channel, and then in the channel model that we created last session, we're going to search to see if it already exists. So how we do that is we do first or create. At the moment we're just looking at first, as in it will find the first record in the database that matches, well, where the slug matches str slug version of the channel name that we're trying to create. So if I just type this up so it's easier to see. So if we're posting the name channel, the channel name IC Nerd, what this is going to do is slugify it, so it comes out as lowercase. Then we're going to take that lowercase value, search the database under the slug column. You know, it might be easier to picture an Excel spreadsheet, you know, rows and columns, the ones going horizontal down. There'll be the column names, that's what this slug is. That'll be like a column title, if you will. So yeah, we're going to search every record for that. It does it very quick, we don't have to manually search, which is great, because that'd be hell. That'd be a terrible website if you had to do everything manually. I mean, geez. If we find it, we're now going to throw an error saying that the channel already exists, which won't work because we're not actually checking anything yet. And if it does exist, then obviously that's going to work and we're going to find a channel. So we need to say, no, sorry, that channel already exists, so we don't want to create a new one with the same name. First of all, the database won't allow it. That's what that unique field was that we set up last time. But also we wouldn't want someone registering a new channel, you know, even if there was no checks in place, because otherwise they'd just be able to register a new channel and they'd both have the same channel name, and that'd be very confusing. And it might not break anything, but it might eventually. You might have two channels with the same name, which would be weird. So yeah, if we do find one, we throw an error. If we don't, then we start setting up a new, which, oh, I've got a double thing there, which would be the same as, be the same as doing that if we don't find one. So we want to create a new channel, essentially. And then from there we start populating the data using the request inputs, so the stuff that we posted. Picture a horrible slimy slug. I'm not sure why it's called slug. I don't know, that's something to stick that in the database, as Fox said last week. Stick that in the database and we'll have a look in a bit. In fact, let's put it in here. Why do they call it a slug? No, not slug. Jeez. Alright, let's comment that out so it doesn't break our code. And yeah, so there, from there we then create the slug. Yeah, add it to the channel slug, and then we're just echoing out what we've got so far. So this, as we're searching by slug, we know there's definitely going to be one because that's what we're searching by. So if there is one, then we throw an exception because we don't want to create another one. And actually I think Laravel 5.5 model exists. I think there's actually a function to see if something exists. Let's see, let's check the old internets. That doesn't really help, does it? Thanks, internet. Oh, while we're here. Let's just ask Google. Why do they call it a slug? And the top answer says, it comes from the world of newspaper production. That is news to me. It's an informal name given to a story during the production process, as the story winds its path from the beat reporter, through to the editor, through to the printing presses. This is the name it's referenced by. Okay, so essentially it's like it's almost like a code name, except it's very obvious what it refers to by the look of it. And the reason it's called slug is due to the slug lines, I guess, going by this. So you can see the path it takes through the process. So it always stays the same, so you can trace it all the way back. or all the way forward, or so yeah, it's almost like a code name for it, except it's very relevant, and in our case we use it because it's usable in the URL. So for example, that what is the etymology of a slug is actually a slug of the question, what is, yeah. So it's essentially just looks like it's a nice way to refer to something that will never change. That's the main bit. It doesn't change throughout the process. So even if in this example they were to change the title from Kate and William to Kate and Barry, I don't know, that'd be a weird news day, then this will always stay the same. So you can always say, how's the story Kate and William doing? Someone can check their little list, I don't know, maybe they've got a spreadsheet themselves, I don't know, but they can trace it back and see how it, or where it is in the process, I guess. Like a slug slime, you can trace where it's been. Exactly. Yep, that is exactly it by the sounds of it. Thanks for the question. I did not know that. I'd never really given it any thought. So yeah, that's where slug comes from, I guess. At least going by that answer, you know, it might be somewhere else, but that looked like a good enough reason, to be honest. So yeah, there we go. As for why it's a slug, I guess someone just saw a trail and thought that's a great idea. Could have been anything. Could have called it a snake, but snake case, you won't really want that. Snake case is already a term that is used elsewhere. Yeah, fair enough. I've learnt something. Thank you. If anyone ever asks that again, I'll know. And I'll look smart. Okay, so what we got now is if the channel slug exists, then we throw the exception. I've probably said that about 8 times now, sorry. So let's just try this code. Let's just give it a go. So IC nerd, we already know that we've got one in the database because I did it last time. So nerd stuff, create. And what is wrong with you now? Exception channel already exists. Okay, so this must just be the new error page. So yeah, I'm not used to the new whoops page in the latest version. So essentially what we've done here is we've stopped processing because there's a problem. In our case, it's the problem that we wanted to throw. So we'll catch that elsewhere. I'll rename it to channel exists exception or something. That's just a generic exception at the moment. We'll add to that later. So it looks like this is actually working. So in theory, if I was to make, I don't know, a Ribblicious channel, nerdiest thing since white bread, this shouldn't do that error. It should just output some variables. It doesn't, because the slug is not mass assignable. Okie dokie. It's all about them slugs today, isn't it? Jeez. So under channel, we want to make a new protected variable, and we call it fillable, as in we're saying that we can fill this, and we want to put the slug in there. We'll probably want the name in there, and we'll probably want the description in there. That should, if I've remembered correctly, let us do it. So if I just refresh and send the same data, what have we got here? Field name does not have a default value. Why do we need name? We're passing along name. We've got a name. Have I not called it name? Stop saying name. No, it is name. What are you on about? Have I not done the right variable names? Channel name? No? Now why do you want a default value then? Is it not input? What have we done wrong here? See, this is the bit where you get stumped for ages, and it's just something ridiculously simple that you haven't seen yet. So posting to channels, yeah, that's expected. Pass along channel name, channel description. Don't mind me just sniffing the mic there apparently, excuse me. Alright, I'm just going to check. I'm not doing so much silly, am I? Oh, it is input, that's alright. Cool. So it's not the simple things. Always check the simple things first, just in case it was something else like request get or something, you know. Excuse me, I'm just having a drink. So what is wrong with you? Why do you think it's blank? In fact, we're not even saving to the database yet. What's it doing? What was that error again? Doesn't have a default value. Are we creating a new one with blank, I guess? That looks really odd. I'm a little bit stumped. New. I realise this is about 5.1, but there we go. Maybe it's because we've said that we can fill it. Maybe I've been a bit too over the top with that. Let's try posting that data again. We've got something else. Field name does not have a default value. Here we go. We're going to be stuck on this forever now. Okay, so let's run through the code. We're creating new. First or create. If it exists, throw an error. Otherwise, we want to fill it with the channel name. Huh. I am stumped. Are we posting it to the right thing? So it's for channel ID channel name. Name is channel name. Yep. How very odd. I'm probably missing something really simple here, so whenever we have a break I am going to grab a cup of coffee, because that usually what happens is you turn coffee directly into code, so I'm probably run out of coffee. I'm running low on coffee. I can't see what the problem is right now. Nice bit of dead air while I try and think. Field name does not have a new default value. Let's have a look in the database that we set up last time. Database migrations. Come here a bit. Channels. String name, string slug. And also we didn't actually make it unique, which is annoying. Should be that. We'll have to do that. Let's do that while I try and ponder what was up with that. Is this one? Not this one. This one. So, PHP artisan make migration. Table is channels. And we want to Alter table, add new uniques. Table, string. I'm starting to doubt myself now. Name, unique. No, it's not the name that's unique, is it? It's the slug that's unique. Not create. Jeez. Change. That's the word I'm looking for. Change. What else have we got while we're there? Name and description. So let's just, as we're already here, let's just set some default values. Name. No, not. Oh, I just clicked on something. There we go. Description. Default is just blank, I guess. That'll do, won't it? Oh, no. Let's give it a nullable. Let it be blank. Instead of setting it to some variable, some random string or something. Okay, so that should change the database a little so that we can do a unique slug. Has to be unique. I should have done that before. The name is nullable, as in it can be blank. And same with the description. And that should also fix our error. Let's give it a go. I should probably named that a bit more specific if I was adding those two, but we can do that later. Technical debt all over the place. Alright, let's try this again. And now the channel already exists. Because it must have actually created something somewhere. Let's just do channel all. What? No. Yeah. So it actually did create something there. That's why we got that. So if I just do channel equals channel. Oops. If you're wondering why I always get the semicolon wrong, it's because that's where the microphone's positioned. So it's right in the way of that character. I don't usually look at the keyboard, but for odd ones like the semicolon I do, because I don't usually type them as frequently. Anyway, channel find ID of 2. That's that one that we just made. Channel delete. Getting some serious buzzing on my ears. Am I getting a text or something? I don't know. Let's move that phone out of the way. Okay, so because we haven't actually set up the soft deletes yet, which allows us to delete without actually technically deleting, that actually did just remove that record that we put in. Oh no, we do have soft deletes. Maybe it did. Okay. I can't remember the function for really delete, so let's have a look at that. Soft deletes. With trashed, that's the one. It's American naming, so you understand if I can't remember. Wonder if it works with all. No. So let's try find. No. Where ID is 2 with trashed. Get. Ah yeah, so it's still there. So what is the command to actually delete a deleted thing? Force delete. Of course it is. That would make sense. Just with trashed worked on here? It does not. Okay, so we'll just do channel equals that one that worked. And then we'll do channel force delete. Method force delete does not exist. What do you want? does. Is it changed in 5.5 or something? Oh, and also we can do with trashed at the start. That's useful to know. It should be forced delete. Maybe I've done something wrong here. So first of all, with trashed, find 2. What was it? Force delete should work. As we're almost an hour in, I'll have a little break in a bit, get some coffee and start remembering how to actually write this stuff that I do every damn day. It's amazing when you start talking out loud how much you forget. It's really weird. Someone should write a study or something on that. Oh, let's just restore it and then force delete it, jeez. So yeah, if you notice, it actually fills in that deleted at. So channel restore, channel force delete. Use the force to delete the channel. Yeah, so it doesn't exist anymore. Awesome. So now, if we try and remember what we were actually trying to do, let's just reload this. Oops. Channel create. So we want to make one that's called Ribblicious. We want to give it a description of nerdiest thing since white bread. Give it a create. We got an error because it already exists. You know what, I'm just going to make one with a different one. We'll try that after we add a bit of coffee, eh? Test. Test. You already exist as well? How could... Ah, you know what it is? Because we're doing first or create, it's within that command creating it. And then of course it does exist, because it's just created it that second. I think I'm tapping into some reserves. Right, so that's not going to work because that's silly. Tell you what, I am going to take a break now. 5-10 minutes. Grab a cup of coffee, chug it, grab another cup of coffee, start drinking that nicely, and then we'll carry on from there. Be right back. And the music just stops dead. I do apologise for the cutting in there, but yeah, it'd be a while before that tune ended, I imagine. Okie dokie, coffee is equipped. I've had a bit of a wander around, wake up and all that. Walk through the house with classical music playing in the background, sounds very nice and relaxing, and then I realise it sounds like the start of a horror film. So I ran back here with my cup of coffee, sat back down, and now we're back. So our problem now is, of course, we're doing this first or create business. So I'm not quite sure how to actually check now. Is that something that's changed? Oh right, changes 5.5, not 0.5. There we go. What is new? No, not that. What is actually new? Upgrade that guide, that might do it. Of course, the problem with 5.5 just being released is that none of the documentation's indexed yet by the look of it. Am I just doing something different, or? Bear in mind that my day job is usually just playing around with WordPress, so I haven't actually got to play with Laravel in a while. At least not that often. Doesn't look like there's much change, so maybe I'm just doing it wrong. No, that's do a better query. Laravel. Check if exists before creating model. I could do the count, that'd do it. Or exists. Oh, or it records. Yeah, it comes up with nothing if there isn't. Alright, so we'll do count for now. Let's give that a go. I realise this is older code, but we don't want to get stuck on this forever, it'd be boring. First slug, blah blah blah. Let's try exists, maybe it's been updated. So we want an if. If channel exists, then throw our exception rather. We'll just scroll up and paste it somewhere random. Why does it not want to paste there, but it'll paste happily above that? What? Whatever. So if it exists, then we're throwing our exception. Otherwise, because that's a break-in. Is it a break? I don't know. We might actually carry on, so let's put an else in just in case. For now, we just want to get through it and move on to something more interesting. I'll tidy this sort of thing up outside the streams, I reckon, because it'll be a bit boring. And then I'll just go over what I've changed when we come back to it. So channel name test2. Test2. Now we've got unknown column test2 in fields. We're not checking a column. Where have you got test2 from? Can we not do an exists on first? Let's just switch it to a where, jeez. Where slug is slug. Lots of brackets. What does that one match up to? The slug. Awesome. That one's there. That one's there. We're all accounted for. Awesome. So, channel where slug is what we're requesting, or a slug version of the channel name. If it exists, throw our exception. Otherwise, do the rest. Now this has probably bloody created something again, hasn't it? Oh, no, it's just being weird. We'll sort that out in a sec again. Another bit of technical debt. I'm being completely thrown off by this. What do you mean column test 3? What am I testing wrong here? What's this exists doing? No, alright, let's do that other one. Count. It's greater than 0. Let's try that in the old Tinker console, shall we? Channel where slug is. Let's just do it like that for now. So we got a 1 there. We got a 0 there. Okay, so we've got a number, we can test against that. Cool. So where the slug is the thing that we're doing, count it. If it's greater than 0, as in it does exist, throw our exception. It's all good today, isn't it? Jeez. Now what? Creating default object. Oh, of course, I haven't set up the new channel equals new channel, because of course we're not creating a new one now that we're not doing find or create. Let's try that again. There we go. Awesome. So we're actually creating a bloody channel now. Let's just freaking Save that. Did we call it a stream? Oh no, we haven't got anything linking us yet. So users. So what we're doing now is we're attaching channels to users. So in the same way that we did last stream, we're attaching as a has many, because a channel can have many users, sorry. And then we'll do the same the other way round. No, it belongs to many, doesn't it? So we're going to need a pivot table. So it belongs to many users, because it's both ways. So for users we want their channels, and they belong to many channels without the pluralization. So now we need to create a database that links the two together. So what we need is make migration, and then help, because I can't remember the syntax again. We're going to need that easier to use functions for this. I usually use a package outside, but it's not really supported on this version yet as far as I know. Let's just do create pivot table. Yeah, go for 5.4 because 5.5 is not quite done yet. And then we'll just change it to 5. By done I meant index, sorry. Just thinking out loud there. Belongs to many. I apologise about going quiet while I'm reading. I should probably just read out loud or something. There's a specific way that they need to be in the right. I know it is complete, it's just that this is a new version. Just to answer the question, is new Laravel not complete or buggy? Essentially I used to use Laracast generators, but I realise I've never actually really done it properly, if you get what I mean. So I've always used this to just easily do it. I mean, we can see if it'll work in here in 5.5, but obviously being that 5.5 was released like 2 days ago or so, it might not have been updated yet, and by the looks of it, it hasn't, at least not on master anyway. And let's just try installing it, see if it actually plays nicely. So we want the dev master version. This may not work, but it'll be the quicker way of doing it. So while that's doing that in the background, app providers. App providers. This is just me adding a little thing. Yeah, it's not too interesting, to be honest. It's just getting the thing done. So give that a save. Go back here. PHP Artisan. Let's see if it works. So we've got the pivot table there. Okay, so I'm just going to try this and see if this works, because it'll be a lot quicker. And then I'll have to set myself some homework. In fact, let's write that down. Don't mind me, there's a plate on top of my book. Classic me, should have taken that down earlier during the break. I've just wrote the word plate in my... Brilliant. Make pivot tables properly. Okay, so we shouldn't get stuck on that in future. Knocking everything over with the book as I move it back. Glad that can was empty. Right, so we want to make a pivot table between users. That's tables, so users and channels. So this actually doesn't, or it didn't last time I used it, make a proper one. Okay, so if I remember rightly, it's literally just in alphabetical order, to be honest. So what was the class called though? Tell you what, let's open up something else that I've worked on and we'll see what that does. Where's your migrations, YogsDB? Give me a pivot table. Yeah, this is the problem really, that because it's not been updated, it doesn't give the proper class name, it just does this app for whatever reason. So what we need is a channel user pivot table. So yeah, essentially the problem is because Laravel is a free to use thing, that there's little functions like this that help you out, but they're created by a third party, so they might not be updated, you know, fast enough, or they might just be abandoned completely, which I believe this one might have been. But yeah, the problem with that is it means that it doesn't actually ever get updated, and then things start breaking slowly. Let's try that. Okay, so now we've got a pivot table. A pivot table is literally, it's the same as the channel ID in the database that we made for streams, I believe it was. We got a channel ID in here? No. Keys, yeah. So you know how we in the last session attached keys to a channel using just a column name, channel underscore ID. A pivot table allows you to do it backwards as well, so you've got a pivot between channel and keys. In this case it would be, in this case it's users and channels, so it's a completely separate table that allows you to go from one to the other and link the two together. So if I, for now I'll just manually attach it. User equals user find one, that should be the one that I registered earlier. Yes it is. That should be attach. Let's just attach one. No, is it not attach? Or is it even that? Okay, we might have to relearn that as well, because apparently my brain can't remember anything when I'm streaming. It wouldn't be a problem if I was just writing, jeez. I think it's the sort of double layer of remembering what it is and then saying what it is that's throwing me off a little. So as I get used to streaming, hopefully it'll get a bit easier. So what are we doing now? Pivot table. Ah yeah, belongs to many. That's where we were. Is there an update? So what's changed in this? Oh, it's got new arguments. Fair enough. Yeah, that doesn't apply to us, so we're good. Just like to see that if there's any changes, if they affect us. but they shouldn't do in this. So roles belong to many. How do we attach? Where is the attach? Or is it just the okay, got you. Should have worked maybe, I don't know. Channel equals find channel find one. Now if we attach that, you are. It's already there. Of course it is. What? Oh, that's what that null was. It was us actually doing it properly. Fair enough. So, what channels do we have at the moment? Because we've created a few while playing around, haven't we? Okay. Nothing to worry about there just yet. Good. What's changed here? Oh, it's the belongs to, isn't it? User channels belongs to many. Let's just find that first one, make sure we can actually link the two. Okie dokie. Fair enough. Nice bunch of errors while we're playing around. Because I can't remember what I'm doing, obviously. I did actually run that migrate, didn't I, with the pivot table? Yeah, that's alright then. Alright, what we got problems with here? What have we changed on this one? Oh, just took the DD out. Fair enough. Let's leave it. Let's put that back. While we're messing around with this. What are we doing wrong here? What did we have in the other project? Has many. It's not just has many, is it? No, because that's no. Don't worry about that. Remind you what we were doing last stream till now. I'll remind myself in a minute. I can't remember. Nah, we'll be alright. Alright, maybe it's just has many and I've just done it wrong. So let's think of it this way. A user has many channels. A channel has many users. Let's see if that works. Nope. Okay, so a bit of a recap. In the last session we set up a bunch of models, you know, just to sort our data out and whatnot. In this one, we're trying to get video to go through the thing. And we're eating up so much time because either I can't remember what I'm doing, which is pretty bad, or something's changed, which is pretty bad, but not as bad as my ego being bruised. So right now we're trying to link the channel and users table together so that we can go from one to the other. But I can't quite remember. I can't quite figure out what we're doing wrong. I say we like it's like a team of people doing it wrong. It's just me being wrong, isn't it? I had a nice vision of this stream just going completely smoothly. We'd be watching video by now, the way I planned it. Okay, we can close that off because we're not using it. That one, I don't know, we'll come back to that in a bit. Yeah, I've been looking at the YogZB for reference just to jog my memory, but we're at a point where it should work nicely, so let's just try and plow on. And channel users, and how do we get the current user? I'm pretty sure it's just user. There we go, get current user. User equals auth user, that'll do. So I don't want to get bloody stuck on that either. So, our user is currently auth user. So we want to attach it to the user because they've just created the channel. I want to give it a save. Hash ID equals I think it was channels we used last time. Encode ID. So what we're doing here is we're creating a new channel with the name that's passed through to us from the form, description same again, and we're doing a double check to see if we've got it. We should have if we're here, to be honest, but it'll do for now. Making a slug of that. A slug, we now know where that comes from. We're saving that to the database. Then we're creating a hash now that we've got an ID. Saving that. And then we're attaching the current user to that channel. We should really return something nicely as well, but for now we're just going to dump the channel out to the browser. Keep going to that. Should be that. Test Z, because I can't remember what number we're on. What now? Auth not found. Of course it's not. Use auth. Hash ID is not found. Of course it's not. I'm getting completely thrown off by that issue earlier. There you go. Hash IDs too. Cool. And now the channel exists. Okay, let's just clear out the database. Scrap it all. Refresh. What we got? Fresh. Then migrate fresh. Clear out the database. Rerun all the migrations so far. Set it up fresh. Now, of course, I won't be logged in because I've just deleted that user. So, can't. Register, logged in, awesome. Channels create. Nicey nerd. Awesome. Now what? Attach doesn't exist. How can attach not exist? What are we doing? as many through, no. Yeah, maybe we'll just do it the other way around then. So current user, channels, attach the channel. So current user is fetched up here, get their channel list, attach the channel we've just made. And hopefully that works. Now if I could spell again. Of course it doesn't. What are you on about with this query builder being wrong? I swear this worked before. Maybe I'm just doing something weird or something. User find first user channels column not found. Aha, so it is a belongs to many thing. Should be the other way around. Try that again. User find one, user channels attach one. Method does not exist. Okay. What am I doing wrong here? There we go. Is it because I'm not fetching the bloody channels? It is. Okay. So this is one of them issues that bugs you for ages and then you realise you're doing it stupidly. Oh, it's because I wasn't fetching the damn user again. Hello to Aaron Raff in the channel there. It's going, well, it's going good now that I figured out what I'm doing wrong. Oh dear. So just to sum up, what we're trying to do here is make a live streaming service with PHP, which probably shouldn't be done. Don't worry about that. We're just doing it so that we can learn new things. See what breaks, see what doesn't. So far it's all the simple things that have been breaking, but we're making progress. Getting there. So far we've just been having a bit of trouble attaching the users to the channels. So in the way that we're doing it now, a user can have multiple channels instead of just being a one-to-one like Twitch, for example. And yeah, this isn't an actual official project or anything like that. We're not going to be trying to compete with Twitch. Yeah, it's nothing like that. We're just playing around, seeing what breaks. Essentially, I'm trying to learn Laravel 5.5, which was released like 2 days ago or so. So far, it's going alright. Just like to play with something that's not WordPress, which is the day job. So yeah, you might be able to see how I want to get out of that, or out of, or away from doing something stuck like that. So now in theory that should work anyway. So we've now got them linked together. The opposite way should actually work too. So channel users. Awesome. So yeah, we just needed to grab the data again. That was literally all it was. All that last, however long it's been, that 10-20 minutes. It's little things like that that just, yeah, you got to factor them in when you're giving someone an estimate on time. Just something that just completely shuts your mind down so you can't see the obvious. Okay, so we should be able to create our channels now. I'll just do another quick test one because it'll probably break. Oh, it didn't break, yay. So now channel with the ID of 3 should be attached to our user as well. It is, awesome, so that bit's working. Alright, we can just stop messing with that bit now. So now we've got a channel. Channel will need a stream key, which we could probably make here actually. So we're doing a new key, so we need to use key. Is it key? Yeah, it is key. So this is the stream key that we need to make so that we can stream to the thing. Okie dokie. So because we've got a fresh channel, and this should be abstracted out into its own function, which it will be at some point, but at the moment we just want to get this working and then we'll work our way back and make things nice. Because all of this should be in its own service or something file, just outside of the channel controller anyway. So we need a new key. We've got a new key. Can't remember how we're storing keys. Let's have a look at the database. Or the migrations rather. Okay, so it's literally just a string key. Which comes up with this weird thing where you've got string key equals key. And we'll just use hash IDs again just to make it easier. Connection keys, 'cause I think we set that up before. Encode the key. Let's see if this works in theory in the Tinker. Key equals new key. Do we have an ID already? Oops. No, we don't. Okay, so we need to save it first. This is a really horrible roundabout way of doing it, I guess, but we'll look at it properly in the future. Another bit of technical debt. Is anyone keeping track of those? So we give it a save. Not going to give it a save. Doesn't have a default value because we've missed that off as well. Keys table. String keys unique. Okay, so yeah, we need to say it's something. Let's just do an MD5 of, I don't know, spam the keyboard a bit. Won't do that in the final thing, obviously. That's just to get something for now. We're not going to be able to save it because we haven't put channel ID. Channel ID is 1. How's the coding coming? Well, we tripped up on a bit, and then it blanked my mind, and then I got a cup of coffee, and then we tripped up on something else while I'm drinking the coffee. It's getting there. It's getting there. All in a day's work. It's one of those weird things where you just get tripped up by something silly, but then all the things that you do to try and solve the problem, they also then don't work because there isn't a problem, because you've missed the actual issue. Yeah. So channel key. Yeah, we've just got this horrible little MD5 string for now. Let's go to channels because we need to get its keys. We can have multiple keys or just one. Just one. And we'll call it stream key. Is it just has, or is it has one? I can never remember that either. Has one. We can always change this later. Another it's later. Another bit of technical debt. The stream key has one. Actually no, it's the other way around, isn't it? Is it? I don't know. Let's try it. I'll save that. I did save that. Awesome. Reload the code. There's that channel one though. Yeah, channel find. Channel key. What do we call it? Stream key. Awesome, so that works. Then we'll just go key. Cool. Okay, so we can actually get this channel stream key. That'll let us progress further. And yeah, like I say, I'll tidy up all this weirdness, you know, the stuff that I tried to fix and break and then refix and all that. I'll fix all that in the background rather than do it on stream. But I will go over it when it is fixed, just as a little recap rather than you actually seeing me move stuff, decide where to put things. And yeah, it'll be rather boring, I imagine. Because what we want to do this session is actually make the thing stream. Just as something a bit more interesting. That's the goal, and hopefully we'll get there. So now we need a quick little API endpoint actually, just that we can call to verify the key. So root, we haven't really got any sort of, let's just go with get verify stream key, I guess. I don't know, that'll do. Yeah, we'll just do this quick and nasty in the roots file for now, and then I'll tidy it up in a bit. So what we need to do is go from the key to the channel. So actually in keys, we need to be able to reference the channel via the key. So this, oops, has one key. Does that actually work? Find the first key, and then from the key, does it have a channel? Does not have a channel, because it belongs to, I believe. Why did that just return? Alright, where is the belongs to? Return this belongs to. Should be it. Ah. Oh. What am I doing here? Belongs to app key. Rookie mistake. Belongs to channel, not key. How long have I been coding? Well, you might not believe it, but over 10 years. But I think the main thing is trying to talk at the same time as write code, it sort of really throws you off. Actually, I wasn't expecting that as much. There we go. So from the key we can now get the channel. That's what we needed there. But yeah, in PHP terms at least, I've been writing PHP for probably over a decade at this point, I'd imagine. Professionally, probably 5, 6, no, it's longer than that now, 8 years, as in being paid to do it. Like I say, you probably wouldn't expect it going by these little weird mistakes that I'm coming up with, but I think that is trying to, it's almost like trying to split your brain in two, as in talk out loud while also doing code, and that's really tripping me up a little bit, I think. But it's something to get used to, something new to learn, which is always good. So from the stream key, what would be best here? I don't know, validate stream key, and then, now this is me predicting a bit here, so we want to return a redirect to live and then the channel name. There needs to be a dot in there, I realise. Cool. Oops. So we're going to need to get the channel, and I know this is in the roots, we'll move it into its own thing once we got it working. This will need to be a request so that we can pass data. Let's just go with key for now. I believe it's something else, but again, that's me predicting. I've already set up a system that worked quite a while ago now, but we'll get the thing working, we'll get there. So we're going to get the key, which is passed along through the variable key, parameter key rather, and then from that we need the channel, don't we? Key equals what I've said. I will explain what I'm doing in just a moment. Again, it's that two-track thing where you're trying to do a thing and then also explain the thing. So channel equals stream key channel. Okay, so what this should do is when the stream starts, it'll ping off a request to our service, which at the moment will just be validate stream key. What that then does is takes the request, which includes the key, it then gets the channel using that key as a reference, then it redirects to /live/channel name. That'll be clear later on in a moment. Oh, and I've just noticed, and it's really bugging me that my sidebar keeps flickering whenever it refreshes. Hopefully that didn't just point it out to everyone else. Oh, I'll fix that up later as well. Another bit of technical debt. I'll write that one down though. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to have to log into DigitalOcean, so I'm just going to pop that screen up a sec just to make sure nothing appears while I'm doing so, because I can't remember what it looks like as you're logging in. Log in to DigitalOcean, yes please. Of course it's going to give me a code, so I'm going to have to open my email. Alright, cool. There we go. I didn't know if it was going to show anything odd or like it did request me to open my email, so I'd rather not show that on screen. Just going to create a droplet, which is their name for virtual server, if it wants to. I think I actually did make a snapshot in advance here. Which one was it? Config 2. Just chuck it on a five a month box. Laptop. Let's just give that a create. So what I'm doing now is spinning up effectively an ingest server, which is the name Twitch gives them at least. It's where you actually stream to, and then from there it does the rest and lets you stream and all that. I will go through its config in a moment once it's booted. I do apologise, I'm going to have to put the secret screen up again while I just set up a DNS address. Just realised this probably won't actually work because it's not public, is it? So we'll have to push it to public as well. That'll be fun. Just a moment as I'm just, there we go, we've got an IP address, that's handy. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just didn't want like addresses or anything, because I'm browsing guest while doing this, so that so no weird addresses or anything work related or anything pops up while I'm doing so. I just have to flick the actual browser to log into DigitalOcean and whatnot just to set that up. Root. Okay, cool, that's worked. So yes, what we're going to stream to is stream.thud.tv. Obviously it won't work just yet. Because we haven't set it up. So this is a almost fresh box. What I've done is I've installed Nginx with RTMP, which is the protocol streaming uses. It's the protocol my computer's sending out now that you're watching, for example. And the magic all comes in this little file. Oh, it's actually API stream auth that I used before. Let's quickly change that, just because that way we don't have to change much. So this is a nice little config file that sets up our RTMP ingest server. I don't know if that's going to be the right domain. Should be HTTPS as well, actually. But essentially what it does is it listens for streams, and then when we press go live in our streaming application, it pings this little address here, and then that checks with our app, and then from there our app says yes or no. Essentially it's literally just yes or no. If it says no, then we drop the stream. If it says yes, or it'll say redirect, it'll redirect internally to this live, and that's how we switch to from the stream key to a channel name. And then we're able to stream HLS files from the same server somewhere. Yeah, sure. Let's go back to our app and see if that works. So, what was it that we called? There we go. API stream auth. Yeah. That won't do anything just yet, because it's an internal error. for whatever reason. Actually, let's try that in the browser and see what we got. Sorry, I realise I'm just sort of waffling on at the moment. I'll be back. So what's up here? What's up with the channel? Do you need the app on the front? Is that what you complain about? Or do we just not need it here? API streamer. Should be bloody there. What are you on about? Here we go with the silly little problems again, eh? What's up with you? In caps. What are the logs saying? Just push them off the screen a bit and then do another one. Is it just not finding it at all? Sorry for jumping between full screen windows again. That can't be great for you. Root list. Oh, it's already got the API on. That's what the problem is. Okay, so now we should be able to request API. It shouldn't need authentication just yet. Cool. Key equals whatever that key was that we set earlier. No, I've loaded an entire page onto the terminal as you do. Good times. What's up with you now? Undefined property channel. Shouldn't be a property, it should be a function. Okie dokie, cool. We'll try something different. Key where the key request is what we just requested. Okie dokie. Did we actually get anything? I guess is the next question. It looks like we did. I know this looks like nothing. Wait, builder, does that mean we're not getting it? Again, rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. Actually, let's undo all that and then just re-add that again. Jeez. Now what? Key does not exist on this collection. Yeah, channel rather. So yeah, what I'm trying to do at the moment is figure out how far along in the process it's getting. Because we're getting the key. We're obviously getting it because I managed to dump it earlier. And from there it just doesn't seem to be playing nicely. Let's comment that out before it starts throwing us off. Let's try this again. So we're requesting the key. Oh, the thing just blipped. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Kirk. So now we're dumping the key. Oh, we've got a collection. Of course we've got a collection. I'm first. I want the first one, not a load of them. It's these little things that just really mess you up a bit. So now it should actually work, because we're just getting one result instead of a list of results. I say it should work, it probably won't. I'll have some other little thing that I've missed. Okay, cool. So yeah, so from the key that we set up earlier, I realise I've been waffling on so long, probably forgot what we're doing. At least I have anyway. So what we're trying to do is take the stream key that's going to be passed to us, and from that get a channel name that is associated with that key. So now we're able to do that, because obviously that's the key, just a little horrible MD5 string that we set up earlier, just for sake of ease, and we're getting the channel name from it, which is good. That's what we need. So now we need to redirect to /live, and it's actually the slug, not the channel name, that we need, which when we flick back to the Nginx config, what you see here is that because it's redirecting us, we can redirect to /live, which is that live earlier. It doesn't actually reference the web project, it references this server itself, and this application live. So let's say that we're streaming to the stream key, you know, just for the sake of, for now, we're streaming to that. Well, we're streaming to this server. It then requests that from our app, which is the equivalent of this. It will pass on a key as well, but I'll have to remember what that name was. Well, I'll figure it out in a moment. So it requests that. This is where we either say yes, that's a channel, or we say no, go away. But we do that with HTTP responses. So if we give any of the negative ones, which is like in the 400, 500 series, you know, you probably know the classic 404 not found. So if we were to give a 404, it'd just drop the stream. It wouldn't carry on at all. If we'd give a positive result, anywhere in the 100, 200, 300 series, in this case we're giving it a 302, which would be a redirect. It'll then carry on, and obviously as it's a 302, it'll follow the redirect. So it'll redirect to /live/ribblicious, which is where we catch it here. We then publish back to the stream off, so we're going to have to have a bit of logic to think, okay, yeah, we're expecting a stream from this channel, so it can go ahead. That maybe we'll attach it to an IP address or something like that to stop it being vulnerable. I'm not sure how I did it before, but I'll look it up before we, you know, make this play service like live. So then from there we're actually streaming to /temp/HLS. This is where we convert our RTMP, you know, video format into HLS, which is a lot easier to play with in terms of like HTTP caching, that sort of thing. Generally serving to a lot of people. That's the main thing that we're after here. Because the problem with RTMP is it opens a connection from you to the server, like it keeps that connection open. We don't really want that if we were, let's say we're hosting, let's say 1,000 visitors were tuned into this. Obviously they're not, but you know, if they're tuned into our little test stream that we're gonna, well, hopefully do by the end of this session, then we wouldn't want 1,000 connections open to our server, because that would be chaos. We'd have to have loads of servers just for the sheer fact that they can't keep that many connections open. I mean, they can keep 1,000 open, but when you get to bigger numbers they can't. So if we turn it into HLS, that means we can serve it over regular old HTTP like any other website, which means we can put it behind a CDN, or content distribution network. And that can handle all those connections for us instead of us doing it. It's a bit of a complex one. I don't know if I can quite go into the full details without confusing myself and everyone else, but essentially we're converting it to a nicer streaming format is the end result of that. So if I just get rid of that, we're now going to have to figure out what the variable name is when we start streaming somehow. So I believe I'm going to actually have to push this all live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a quick break, another break. I'll set all that up so that it can easily be done instead of us messing around here. Does that actually work yet? It does actually, so I might already have that push deployable, so I can just push it and it goes up automatically for us. But when we come back, we'll try and get the information we need from when we go live on stream. This onPublish does pass along the stream key. I can't remember the variable name, so we'll have to figure that out. But from there, we should be able to, I know it's all bodged and stuff at the moment, but we should actually be able to start sending a stream through. So hopefully in preparation of that, I'm going to quickly grab a OBS and set that up to work with this. It might jinx it, so it might just break everything just for the sheer fact of trying to annoy me, which most code seems to do. But when we come back, we should be able to, I don't really want to put a time on it, but we should, this stream, be able to push video through our service. Hopefully. Be right back. Well, that music was really going for it, wasn't it? I didn't want to interrupt. Okie dokie, so if you're wondering what I was doing just there during the break, it was setting the site up so I can easily just push it to not a live site but a more public test site, if you will, just so that we can do things and actually try them out. Because the main problem is I haven't set up a stream server locally, which I need to do, and I'll get that done before the next session, I think, just so that we don't have to keep pushing to a live server. So what I've done is obviously set up a live version of the site and set up OBS. Now normally don't show this. This is not my Twitch stream key, don't worry about that. But this is what we need to stream to, as in a custom streaming server, and then this is the Thud streaming server that we've just set up. That's what the DigitalOcean droplet was. If this site was Twitch right now and people tried to stream to it, it'd go down instantly. It just can't handle that much. But as we're just doing a test server, it should do the job. So this is that little horrible MD5 stream key that we set up earlier. Do excuse me, I should not have chugged a Pepsi Max just then. That was a bad idea. I noticed it was going flat, but I guess it wasn't completely. So our stream key will be passed along when we start streaming. Now if you notice the /app at the end here, that's in reference to this, which is the application app. It doesn't have to be called app, I could just spam the keyboard and that'd do it, but app's a nice easy to remember thing. So that'll do for now. So the process should be, I hit stream on this. It won't work just yet because we haven't fully tested it or anything like that. We still need to get some information out of it. Actually it might do, because I'm not doing the verification just yet. So the process should be, I hit stream, it requests app on this server, which then sends out a request to our web service, which is the thing that we've been making. That then says, okay cool, stream to this, that's fine. Gives us a redirect to our channel name, which is this one, the live. That then does another publish that we'll probably comment out for now because we're not Yeah, we don't really want to go too hog wild with it just yet. I don't think that is the comment in this, is it? No, it's a hash. There we go. So comment that out. And then that converts it into HLS. So in theory, this might work. It might not. We'll see what happens if we just start streaming to this custom server. Oh, this is going to be streamception here. I'm streaming within a stream. Let's see what happens. Failed to connect to server. Oh, so that's a good start, isn't it? Oh, you know why it is? I haven't started the Nginx, have I? Did I set it up to do it nicely? What we got here? Status. Oh, here we go. What problem do you have, Nginx? AIO on is unsupported in this platform. Okie dokie. Where's that? AIO. I'm in caps. Okay. Oh, doing PHP comments instead of Nginx config file comments. Okay, that looks like it started. So in theory, we start streaming. Well, it looks like we're connected to it, so that's a good sign. So it's connected, we've connected to the server. It's then gone to our app. Hey, what does this stream key mean? Our stream keys then redirected us to live, I'm hoping. So let's see what's in temp HLS. Nothing at the minute, which is not great, but you know, one thing at a time. So where are we sending things? It should be HLS, which is really annoying. Well, it's not really annoying, to be honest, it's minorly annoying. We got anything at all in there? No? But at least we've got the streaming side working, because we're actively streaming to a server right now, our little test server here. So that side of things let us do that. Let's see what was in the logs here. No, in the web app. This one. Oops. This might be an error from earlier. It is. That's an error from earlier. So we've got no errors. That's a good sign. Wonder if we've just got not got enough storage on temp. Oh no, it should be fine. So if I restart this, it'll probably drop our stream. Yeah. So our stream actually reconnected automatically. That's nice. That's nice. It's good. So it's made the HLS. If I stop stream, will it then go to location? Could you clarify that? What do you mean, sorry? So it should be going into this, but it doesn't seem to be right now. I'm not quite sure why. We got a VLC installed, we have. Oh no, when I stop a stream, does it then create? No, it should be creating it live because it's actively converting my stream that I'm sending to it. It should be converting them into HLS files, which would be something like M38U, I think it is. M3U8, something like that. So it should be creating that file. and then within that file is a list of other files, which is like 1.ts, 2.ts, and that's your live stream in chunks. Doesn't seem to be doing that right now. I'm just going to quickly put it on the secret screen a sec, just to see what this comes up with. Okay, so cool, it doesn't do anything. Right, so at the moment we're streaming to this server, but this server's not doing its bit, which is quite the annoying. Actually, a while ago, for me mate Fox, who might be in chat, I don't know, I wrote out essentially this config file, but with a lot of comments, which should help me now because I can't remember what it does. Here we go. So this is the documented version of that, the config file from the server. It's lovely and documented actually. Lots of comments. So we're not interested in the nobody bit or the worker processes. We're after this bit, the RTMP bit. So we listen for RTMP streams, that's cool. And that should be correct. And someone attempts. No, also name. Wonder if that's the actual name of it. Probably isn't, but so I'm just having a bit of a read. I wish I'd put the actual variable name in, that would have been handy. Yeah, well, let's just copy this and just use this config specifically. It might be that there's a minor change or something. Oh, I've just realised. Let's stop that stream. I just realised the real stream was getting affected by that. I must have the settings a bit too high on this one. It was taking out the connection of the other one. Sorry if it got a bit choppy there. So if we paste that in, save that. Where's that AIO thing that it didn't like? Comment that out. Give this a restart to make sure it actually works. It looks like it does. Where's our stream? Let's just change its settings down so it doesn't affect the real stream. We're sending it at 12,000, no wonder that started affecting us. Let's just send it at 1,000, it doesn't need to be anything special. So again, that's working. I wonder if we got any logs. Doesn't look like it. Logs, error log. Alright, where are we putting them? Is it in the Nginx folder? Nope. Don't mind me, I'm just trying to figure out where these log files are going. Just under HLS somewhere. Might be. Still nothing under HLS, that's really odd. I'm sure we'll be able to figure that out. Do excuse me if I just go quiet a moment just while I try and remember what this does. It's been about a year, maybe even 2 since I last set this sort of server up. Yeah, originally we did try and make a... We were actually making a streaming service that rivaled Twitch, just because why not? Obviously it didn't work. I think we sort of gave up on it, if anything. But yeah, that's where this has all come from. Essentially I want to see if the code would actually work, you know, where it could have got to. Not quite sure why this isn't outputting anything. That's odd, because it should be. Maybe it doesn't like temp. Should do. Yeah, it's writable to everyone. And of course it's made the file, and it's made the directory. What are we missing? Get it to just restart and everything. Let's have a look on the old internet. Bloody hell. I swear I hate intercom for that. Every single website you go on these days, it's just that little bloody, do you want any help? It's like, no, I don't. I'm reading your bloody website, go away. On publish Nginx or TMP. Maybe I'm missing something in the redirect part. Oh, don't mind me. Control F on publish, not Control A. Oh nice, we've also found this. I think it's that's the stream key. Which would be why it's not writing anything, because we haven't got the stream key, which means it can't redirect to the proper channel. So it's being redirected to blank. So it's making blank files which it can't create because they're blank. Which might be why we're not getting anything. Hey, we might have just figured it out there. Nice. It's always good to just look through things, isn't it? So, we might change that to that. That might work. Here's where you see me committing a load of silly little things. Normally you put in nice messages, so change key equals to, what was it? SWF URL equals. Let's see if that does it. Yeah. And then we want to push the code to our repository, and then on our server, not this server, this server, we want to pull that code that we just pushed. So now that's got the new code. So now it might, bloody hell, it doesn't like that inception, does it? Look at that. Seems alright there. Let's stop this and then restart it. It looks like it's going through, so that's good. It's a good sign. Have we got anything in here? We do not. Okay, so what we're going to have to do is let's stop that and put in some debugging. Good old debugging. So file name, storage directory dot streamvars.txt, that'll do, won't it? So just do a nice little put contents to data will be print our request form. So essentially what we're doing here is anything that we're passed, we'll put that data into a file so that then we can have a look and see what it's actually doing. So this is a bit horrible. Normally you just do this locally, but as we're having to play with a live server, we'll just put it on the server. Debugging stream bars. Then we'll push that up to the server, to the repository, pull it down on this server. Now in there, when we go live, maybe. We got another problem somewhere. Undefined variable channel. No, that's that old problem. So why didn't it do anything then? Tell you what, let's test it manually. Aha! Undefined function storage dir. That'd do it. So what is the actual helper name? Little things like this that you just forget because you don't use them so often. So I usually use S3 for storage, so I don't usually reference the storage directory. Storage path, that's the one. Where's my code gone? There it is. Went far off, but you know, even being slightly wrong and it breaks. Do apologise for flicking between windows and stuff. This is the boring bit. So hopefully that should be the correct command now. In fact, I could just test that before pushing that up, couldn't I? Okie dokie. Yeah, that is not the right one. Alright, cool. So it looks like it's creating it now, so let's push that to live. I say live, it's not really live as such, is it? No, we don't want to add that. Let's just push for now. And on the other one, pull it down. Wherever that command's gone, there we go. In case you're wondering, I'm just pressing up and down in the terminal, like literally the buttons up and down to go through my history of what I searched. That's not even the right one. Maybe that's probably why it didn't work. So now that file will actually be empty and disappointing, I believe. Even though it does actually exist now. Because we did print R and we didn't tell it to echo it out instead, return it instead of echo it out, which means it just output it to the browser. If you can see it there, it's Let's just put it in the browser instead of in that file. Always fun. Always fun. Put to a file instead of browser. And we push again. And pull again. And finally try again. So yes, it said something went wrong, but we should have something in here. Excellent, yes. So now what I'm going to do is tell the server to just tell me what's in that file. So if I just put that always on top, if you just watch this bottom bit, it should. Well, that didn't really do anything different, but so it's basically outputting anything that it gets into that file, so we can see it. So if I now go back to this one, is it still there? Yeah, I'll change its colour. That might be easier, isn't it? So if you watch the red one, that should change as we reconnect. It didn't, but it should have. Of course it didn't, why would it? Okay, so it's being tricky on me now. Why didn't you do anything just then? Because we're going to HTTP and it's redirecting us. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, a redirect means go for it. So because we're getting a redirect, it's just saying go for it no matter what. And now we've got a problem. What's up here? Invalid port. You what, mate? Do we need to specify that it's 443? What? Okay, maybe it just doesn't like HTTP. We'll have to figure that one out later. So instead of that, what we'll do is just go HTTP and just go pop open the secrets menu again just while I log into the server and tell it to stop redirecting. Yeah, the main reason I hide the window is because of work I log into things as multiple accounts. I just don't want those accounts popping up. Okay, so we're in Server Pilot, that's what I'm using for this. And plenty of things here as you can see. Let's go into Thud, SSL and stop redirecting. Yep, bugger. Now hopefully it'll stop doing that. Okay, so we've got a nice 500 server error, that's always lovely, isn't it? Which is fine, because that works for us. Let's give that a restart again, see if we can reconnect to it. We could not. Why not? Invalid port. Oh, of course, we've got that other one that's HTTPS, haven't we? I mean, we shouldn't need HTTPS if this is all final, because they'd all be on a protected network of some sort, but it could do with being fixed somewhere. Why do I keep doing status instead of restart? There we go. So you, are you still streaming? Disconnected. Okay, cool. So if I just manually restart that. When it's ready. Just, oi, stop streaming, you bugger. I think it might have crashed. Wake up, you thing. Okay, cool. I like the way it's still running. There we go. So kill OBS. And restart it. And try and start. Here we go. Here we go. So now it's rejecting us because it's getting an error from the server. So what is that error? Where is the error log? Let's go to the live one and see what errors you've been giving us. Trying to get property of non-object on line 33, which is the redirect. What's wrong with you? So what's that giving us if we go to that one? Property of non-object. Oh, it's because we changed that, isn't it? Without checking to see where it was. In fact, we should really comment all of that out. Just so we can actually get some value. Instead of it erroring out. I mean, it might have put something in here. Oops. Oh wow. Do you hear that bloop there? We've actually got noise on stream. What? Okie dokie. Yeah, that bloop gets really annoying if I forget to mute that. I'm not going to mute it right now. Hopefully that shouldn't happen too much. I'm going to mute it. Let's try that. I don't know if that'll help. You guys still hearing bloops? If you're wondering on the difference between -F and -F on this tail command, well, essentially tail keeps the file open and tells you of any changes. -F will only tell you if the file doesn't get written over completely, it'll keep you updated, but -F, if it does get written over, it'll reopen the file for you, which is why I like -F capital. And the, like I say, the tail command just literally tells you whatever's happening in that. It's good for log files, which is why I'm using it on this here, because it means I don't have to keep looking to the bottom of the file. I just sort of look at the window and see what's happening. So actually, let's get one of these up for our little test server here, so we don't keep pushing things that don't work. So it's dev stream TT tab, and it's in storage streamers, and put him on top, and let's make him blue. So blue is our local system, red is our live system, if you will. So let's add test equals 1 2 3. Alright, cool, so that one's working. It's being a bit odd the way it's displaying it, but that's because we're using tail instead of, I don't know, cat or something. Okay, let's do that. So if I watch -n every 5 seconds, do this command, and cat just, well, it echoes out the file. So if I do change that to 456, give it 5 seconds, and it updates. Let's just change that to 1 just because, you know, it's quicker. let's do the same on this one. Invalid option. What? Oh, I'm an idiot. Don't mind me. Watch minus M1, not cat minus M1. There we go. So, if I'm remembering rightly, we need to push a bit of code. And I've already forgot what we're doing. Remove real results to test stuff. Push. Oh, where were we? Where's the real server gone? Oh, I think I'm using it for that, aren't I? Huh. Don't know why I just did a blank CD there, don't mind me. So if I just pull that code on here, get some of that new code in. Now we should get an update in the red one when we try to stream. Should. Didn't. Should have. Didn't. All this just to find out what that variable name is. Might just have to do trial and error at this rate, it might be quicker. What's your error? What is your error? Doesn't have one because that's the wrong window. Where's that one gone? There it is. Let's get a few more lines of error log. Full screen. Right, so it was that property of non-object thing again on line 33, which is now commented out. Brilliant. What is wrong with you? Did we not pull code? Let's have a look on the actual server for the routes API. No, should be fine. It's rather odd. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe that was an old request. Alright, let's manually try it then. Right, so that works doing that. Fair enough. Not sure why it doesn't when it's the app doing that. It's rather odd. Let's see if anyone else knows. Nginx, RTMP, stream key. Way up, it looks like someone's actually done a thing now. Didn't when I last looked. Is it just the name? Does it pass along the name? Oh, it does as well. Maybe it is just name. That might do it. So if we uncomment all these, forget all this lot, just go with name. Yeah, let's scrap that off. Let's get the name. I've almost forgot what we're doing, you know. But it should come back to me. So the name is going to be the stream key by the looks. So let's just push that up. Git commit -a. Change to stream key name. I don't know. My commit messages get worse and worse, I swear. Push the code. Switch to the server. That one. Pull the code. Try the stream. The stream failed. Why did the stream fail? We're in a loop here, aren't we? What do you mean can't get an object? I'm 33 again, so actually let's go through the stack trace. Let's get these out of the way. So there's an error getting an object, which is from handle exceptions and so on, which is from the request. Doesn't really tell us much if I'm honest. But we know that it's in API.php line 33, which doesn't actually exist anymore. So what error are you seeing? Crazy thing. Is that actually a new error? Let's just press a load of enters just to see if that works. That's now on 25. That's what we got on 25. Right, so is this redirect bit that it doesn't seem to like? You know what, let's just edit on the server. Shouldn't really do that, but shouldn't really be doing a streaming site in PHP either, so whatever. So roots API, just until we see what we've got here. Oops. DD request or so get the key. Of course it won't be key, it'll be under name now. So maybe that's what the problem was just then. Because of course we're looking for name now instead of key. So that actually looks like it should be working. But then the result doesn't give us a nice response. So you're going for name, yes, yes, yes. Cool. What am I looking for now? I've gone blank. I've gone blank. Web. That's one. Root. Live. Let's put channel in a variable there. Control O instead of save, as you do. So if we check that locally, obviously rename that to name, and that says hi instead of giving us an error, maybe that'll help out a bit. Let's just overwrite any changes we made here just so it doesn't complain at us.